Call to order the Economic Development Authority meeting, Tuesday, May 16th, 2023, 12 p.m. Roll call, David Paradise.
Michael Sommerfeld.
Matt Smith.
Jessica Bonnie.
Jolene Fox.
And I think I just saw Sonia pull in.
Perfect. We'll wait and get the approval so we can move forward. Welcome, Sonia.
Hello.
Get a approval of the agenda.
Yeah, make a motion to approve.
All right. All in favor? Aye. 3-0. Get approval of the minutes.
So what will we
Yep, for both January 17th and February 21st. You need approval for separately on that or both? Both together. Fine.
You can do it for both, yeah.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, let's go to the treasurer's report.
In the EDA cash fund, we're currently sitting at a $255,004.10 balance. And then in the revolving loan fund, what you see in your minutes, the $257, $754, and 78 cents.
I'll need two separate motions to approve the accounts payable for February 21st and then April 18th.
All right. I will make a motion to approve the EDA accounts payable from February 21st, 2023.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
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 0. And I'll make another motion to approve the EDA accounts payable April 18th, 2023.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on to the old business. Any preserve development updates?
Yeah, there's a couple developers that are interested and potentially may submit a proposal. The deadline is currently June 1st, so they have just over 2 weeks to get that in. They've been calling, they have questions that myself or the planner or engineer have been trying to answer as best we can for them.
Okay.
Some of the information is unknown because it's been sitting out there for so long, we're not quite sure exactly the state that it's in, the condition that all of that is in. We just know what was done with testing, so.
Sure.
But hopefully we will get some interest there. One of the developers only does TIF developments, so
Okay.
it might be a consideration.
Absolutely. Do we know what they're looking to put in there? Or nothing yet?
No.
Multifamily.
It'd probably be, yeah, like a medium density residential, so multifamily housing.
Okay.
And if they want to do TIF, obviously there's the income restrictions and stuff with that, so that would provide some low-income housing in the area.
Usually it's a percentage, so
Yeah,
for example, if he
percentage.
puts in 100 units, maybe 20 of them will have
We'll have that
low to
income
moderate
restriction.
income restrictions. And of those 20, 5 or 7 will be for the very low
Yeah,
income bracket.
kind of a tiered.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so, which is kind of nice, because then they mix it in, and it, it doesn't become just one unit that's full of affordable units. It's mixed in, it's market rate.
Absolutely. Perfect. Anybody have any questions on the preserve? All right. Initiative Foundation 2023 contribution.
This was on our last agenda for approval. We didn't have a quorum, so we just need approval.
Absolutely.
So moved.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Perfect. Going on to new business, we'll probably skip over the new number discussion, but just so everybody's aware, I've talked with Greg Anderson from the Ugly Bar, so he was gonna let me know, talk to him and his wife Sue, because I think he'll need approval from her first. But he sounded very adamant that he would like to, but I told him to talk it over and let us know, but I think another body would be great to add to us.
Right.
So I think moving on to the big thing that we want to talk about today was the child care and how we as a city can get moving forward, and with the help of Jolene here to move us forward.
Okay, well, at the last time I met with you guys was in January, and I believe this conversation, according to the minutes, that we did discuss what Waverly had done in moving forward with First Children's Finance and the Initiative Foundation to sort of do a study.
Yep.
Has there been any forward motion with that?
Well, no. Yeah, I need to have some capacity to take
Right.
on more stuff if
Right.
that's really the case. Otherwise, you guys can do some research on that stuff as well.
So my suggestion would be just to have that first contact with Terry Steckelberg. If that has not occurred yet, that would be a great first step.
Okay,
She is really good to work with. She should know exactly what it is that you guys are looking to try to do, and which would be collect data on the demand for childcare in the area, so that you have the hard numbers.
do they help with that?
Yeah,
or-
oh, they do that.
Oh, they do that.
They
Okay.
pretty much do that. So you just gotta, get in connection with Terry Steckelberg. I sent you her contact already. Let her know that you'd like to do something similar to what we really did in regards to gathering data about demand for childcare availability in Montrose. And then they create a nice study. They provide that information to you about exactly how many kids are in Montrose, how many spots are needed, how many are available, what the age range is.
Sort of a feasibility report
Yes.
almost? Okay.
Absolutely. So it's kind of that first step. And then I thought I shared with you the email that I had gotten from Brian Hickman from the Initiative Foundation, which kind of talks about daycare startup funding. And,
I'm not sure I got that one.
okay, so why don't I make a note to share. I know you probably already have Terry Steckelberg's contact, but I'll put it on here.
So it's just a matter of making a phone call. Beyond that, what else does she need?
Well, you have to have the conversation with Terry and request what it is that you want to do, and you have to see what their capacity is for when they can do it. So I'm not
Okay.
saying she's just immediately going to say, yes, we'll do this and have it done by next week. It would be-
Right, I'm not saying
But to
that.
see what other communities she's working with, and what their timeline looks like, and when they might be able to complete something like that. I'm going to guess it'd be within a month or so,
Okay,
depending on where they're at. And then I think you would probably maybe even sign into something with them, because they're going to provide resources and technical assistance, and they'll probably get paid federally or something like that, I'm guessing, or through their own avenues.
so does that have to come from somebody at the city, the first contact or the,
My suggestion would be that it come from the EDA
from the EDA, but it doesn't have to be?
or from the administrator.
Okay, so I'm just asking if it has to be, because I understand bandwidth problem, you
Yeah.
know.
I don't know that it has to be. I don't think it has to be. I think if it's somebody representing the EDA or the city and they know,
That's what I'm just
yeah,
asking,
I
you
think that
know.
would be fine.
Okay, because I'm willing to make a phone call to start the ball rolling. I'm not sure I can give all the information, but if you forward the information, I'll give her a call.
Okay.
And I'll just have to just want to take a couple minutes with you, Jolene, so I get all the details that I need to ask her,
Sure.
so I can write it all specifically down. But why, we'll always wait for you
You
to
have
have it.
time, yeah, it's, EDA isn't something historically that's been on my plate, so I
Right.
kind of have to make room for that.
Right,
Yeah,
I
so.
understand.
so I'll contribute that portion of it to start things rolling.
Thank you.
I can't do like everybody, we're business people and we've got our own things, but I can do that portion.
Okay. I'll get you that information.
you know, be more than happy to copy me on that email. That way, when it comes to a point where you need somebody else to take over, I'm fine with that too.
So I'll get that to you this afternoon.
That would be
We're
great.
gonna reach out to Terry Steckelberg at First Children's, and then we're gonna take a look at that email from Don Hickman regarding the funding, because I've had a couple different inquiries, and he has a nice email that I shared that has good information about what the next steps are. So there are some funds available through like the Department of Employment and Economic Development, but it has to fit into a certain category. And generally speaking, the Initiative Foundation is more financially supportive of nonprofit organizations, so a for-profit childcare center might not be able to receive funding through the Initiative Foundation, but there may be other avenues, so we'll explore both of those things. And then I had a conversation with a developer that does multifamily housing. It may or may not be the same one that you spoke to, it very likely could be. And we had a conversation about a mixed-use development, so.
And I have been telling people, I think council would be open
Right.
to a mix of commercial and residential.
Perfect, out at the preserve.
Yep.
So that was the conversation, was a mixed-use building would have commercial opportunity on the main floor, so therefore you could maybe get a daycare in there, get an anchor tenant, and/or a retailer, whatever that might look like, a restaurant, a store, convenience store, I don't know, have you guys, you have a Dollar?
We have a Dollar
General.
General, that's about it.
Right, okay, so I know Dollar Tree has been popping up in a lot of places too. I know that the Dollar General and the Dollar Tree sometimes compete with mom and shop local retailers too, and can be a good thing or a bad thing for a community, it just depends on each community. But the idea of a mixed-use building where there's commercial opportunity on the main floor and then residential on the second or third stories would be something to really consider, especially as you're looking at potentially partnering a child care center with residential and/or assisted living or memory care or some type of senior housing component as well. Something to think about as you're having conversations with developers. Otherwise, I don't know that I have any other specific information for you regarding childcare avenue, other than what I can share and then getting going on those steps with First Children's. Okay?
We'll revisit that.
Yep, and I will get that email, I will send it to all three. I'll send it to Jessica and Sonia and Dave, and then they can share it with you guys, because I don't think I have your email addresses at this point. And I just wanted to clarify. Your name. What are you guys'
Matt.
names? Matt and
Michael.
Michael. Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta get my M's straight. Matt Smith
Yep.
and Michael.
Summerfield.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the mixed use is interesting. I had a training last week and some of it was about planning and how some planning districts aren't necessarily a zoning district, they're more based on form and kind of creating that mixed use district, and they're very successful.
Like a planned unit development of
Something like
UD.
that, yeah.
Very, very common way to kind of not to get around, but to work with the existing zoning. I don't want to kind of get around zoning, that's not the right word, but to modify the existing
Modify it, yeah.
zoning by creating this planned unit development.
Yeah, it's definitely popped up in the first ring suburbs, a lot of places, you know,
Yes.
Eden Prairie and all that, there's a
There's
lot
some
of them.
successful districts that are
Yep.
incorporating
Exactly.
that mix, and they're more successful because people are more likely to be like, you know, on foot and stopping in these businesses and, you know.
I just had a meeting with another company yesterday, and actually in the last 2 weeks I've met with two firms. One is Larson Builders. Yeah, I have to clarify because there's more than one. But they do Larson Building, Andy Larson, Jason Kazaneski. They're in the area. I sent them the RFP for Montrose. They do multifamily and senior housing, industrial manufacturing, new construction, churches. And so that is one local, Andy Larson at Larson Buildings. And then yesterday I met with John Waletsko of Bradbury STAM, BRADBURY STAMM, Bradbury STAM. They used to be Winkleman Builders. If you're familiar with Winkleman on St. Cloud, they have sold into a new form through a marriage, somebody in Albuquerque, some company in Albuquerque, they merged with Bradbury Stam is their new name. They're a great firm. I know a couple other people on their team, and they do multifamily and commercial and industrial, and they're looking for opportunities here in the area. So again, John Waletzko, Bradbury Stam, both of them, Larson and Bradbury Stam might be interested in something at the preserve. And then the other one was Briggs, Pat Briggs.
Yes, I have talked to him.
And Pat Briggs, I've known a number of years. He has done the affordable component using low-income housing tax credits, which are tricky. Not a lot of developers want to even touch these low-income housing tax credits because they are tricky. You gotta know what you're doing. But he has been successful. He's doing apartments in Clearwater. He's got apartments in Monticello. I worked with him in Princeton. So Pat Briggs, I know him, and so if he, you know.
Yep, I have talked to him.
Okay, so he's also interested in something. So we've got a couple prospects there.
Absolutely. And with these three, I mean, is there opportunity to maybe take them around, do some sites, you know, outside of just the preserve and see what else they might be interested in?
Get them to town and do a little drive around.
I mean, not necessarily, you know, I mean, don't need.
Yeah, it's hard because we're in the RFP process, so.
Okay.
They should know what they're looking for. Any developer who's looking at an RFP should know. And
Okay.
if they're gonna put in,
What they're proposing.
if they're
what
gonna
their
put a
concept is
proposal
gonna
in,
look like.
most, I would
Right.
say, over 90% of the time, they're gonna come to your community and they're gonna look at the site before they submit a proposal. So they've probably already been here to go
Okay.
around.
Yeah,
Just want to make
It's
sure.
good to know that option.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they should have already come and driven around if they're gonna put a proposal in. They wanna know what they're looking at.
If we got some nibbles, I don't wanna get it off the hook.
Right, yeah, I know, I get a little overzealous. I
Exactly.
do these big not suckers, but shiners, right, the big minnows, and I whip the thing off the hook before I can even get it in the water. My brother's like, whoa, just calm down, Jolene, you know, you lost your minnow
Yeah.
behind you, so,
But
get a little overzealous.
I'm really interested in the multi-use thing
Yes.
because that is one of the things we have of attracting businesses, which is our next point, is we
Yes.
don't have buildings.
Right,
We don't have
and have the available vacant
Yeah.
spaces or
Right.
spec spaces.
because
Right,
I
important.
do get calls
Yeah.
from potential businesses that are potentially interested in coming to town, and they ask about available buildings, and there's just not much. I mean, there's the Snap Fitness, you know, portion, there's just not much, so.
And these developers understand this concept. I know Larson and Bradbury Stam. They understand building a building and even leasing it, owning the property
Mhm.
and leasing it to anchor tenants,
Mhm.
or eventually selling the building to
Mhm.
a buyer that will lease it out, so.
Some of the recent kids' sporting events I've been to, you know, Mankato, St. Cloud, a lot of them have those, and, you know,
Yeah.
Mankato's got college kids, right? But
For sure.
those places are full,
Mhm.
restaurants underneath them are full, it's walking distance for everybody, I mean, it's nice, but for here, yeah, it'd be walking distance for everybody living in those places, but it also provides some opportunity for businesses to come in, right? A little restaurant.
Exactly.
you name it.
And I think that's exactly what I think this town is looking for. I mean, I don't want to be this big metropolis, but, you know, have some other options for people that live here. You
And
know,
have
we are a
options for
rural
those businesses
community.
to be able to come in. You know,
Yeah.
something there ready
Absolutely.
for them, that's huge,
Yeah.
you know. Right now, the last 2 months in this town, you can't get a pizza or a donut at Casey's.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
this sold out? Or-
No,
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 we're-
they don't have
They
any
don't even
employees.
make them, yeah.
I mean, you can't even get a Kobe sandwich here, and
Oh.
there's nothing.
No.
Yeah.
Mm,
It's
No,
brutal.
it's not good.
Can I ask Sonia, when they built the new bank where your business is now, who did that? Did the bank build that? And then, okay,
the bank owns that,
yeah,
yes.
okay. And then they built extra business space for
Mhm.
people to rent.
Yeah, and they approached me to see if I wanted to move, because I was
Because
in
you were
this-
right there, yeah.
Yeah, and the space that I was in was not, I either had to upgrade and I could have bought that space, but with the parking lot and the gas station, I'm
All
glad I never
issues.
did, because it's a much more stable situation, and much more professional.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, and the building was probably a lot older that you were in before, and, yeah,
Mhm.
so,
Had roof problems, and
Yes.
no way did I want to buy it.
yeah, okay.
So I do have a 1 o'clock in Monticello, so I gotta
Yeah.
leave about 10 minutes. Sorry.
Absolutely.
All right, so if I may, can I go ahead with a couple other things I had?
100%.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'll send you the emails about childcare stuff and about that stuff, that's all good. I wanted to talk about BRE visits. So last time I said I'd be happy to do some business retention and expansion visits here, and I'm asking for your suggestions. Who do you think I should visit next? And I can invite you and or one of you or somebody to go along with me. It's usually an hour visit. First, I'm going to Polaris today in Monticello to do one. Usually the first half hour, I just sit down with leadership. I ask them about the history of the business. I ask them about where they fit in what sector, about imports, exports, supply chain, shipping, workforce, succession and transition, and then I ask for a tour. So I've been at Carpentry Contractors. I've been at Craft Pattern and Mold. Who do you suggest? Is there anybody you know is going to expand? Is there anybody you think might be in trouble? Or is there a large employer that I haven't hit on yet? What are your suggestions for BRE?
I mean, potentially, just because he's a huge staple, I would say Emery. I mean, you know, not a huge number of employees like CCC.
Spell that for me.
EMERY.
Emery. And what do they do?
Truck and trailer repair, so. He's right out here on Highway 12.
Yeah.
Millhausen is expanding. on-
Millhausen.
Yeah, Millhausen's
That's
doing
that
right.
too,
Please,
yeah.
MILHAUSEN.
Yeah.
Okay, what do they do?
Repairs.
Yeah, body shop.
Body shop.
Yeah.
And do we have a contact for Emery? First name or?
Justin.
Justin.
Justin who?
And
Emery.
Justin Emery.
Oh, that makes sense.
And Travis Millhausen.
Oh, yes, there's family business. Gotta love these small towns, man. Make it easy. Okay, I will follow up with these two.
Yeah.
See if I can't get something in
Those two
place in the
are,
next 4 to 6
yeah,
weeks.
I think
And
staples
I'd
of the town.
be curious about what's, like
Yeah.
Justin's plans and stuff.
Yeah.
Great, great.
And he's always very active in the community.
And
So
Millhausen, which is,
both of them
yeah,
are,
with
yeah.
the expansion and stuff, what
Exactly.
he's planning, so.
Excellent,
be
good.
good.
We'll try it, we'll shoot for those two.
Yeah.
All right, community profiles, county resource guide, we talked about that. We will be doing new community profiles for all 16 cities, updating them, putting them together into one book, which will be the community resource guide. Have a page about Chambers, a page about what we do, a page about what the county does, a few other things. So that's our plan still for 2023. We haven't got it started yet, but it will be done by the end of the year. So I haven't forgotten about it. We might ask for your help and assistance on it a little bit, but basically we should just be able to provide that to you. And I think it's going to be, the digital version is going to be more valuable than print. We'll do some print, but we're not going to do a lot of print. We're going to make it a digital thing.
Yep.
All right, marketing. We have our trifold flyer that is going to go to print. We've upgraded it. We talked about your guys doing some type of marketing or brochure, so I'm not sure how you're going with that. I did want to share with you, we decided to do a folder, and I've got one that I can leave with you here today. So we decided to go with a folder because we hadn't done this in a long time. We used our existing government center where our office is. We did the kind of breakout of the surrounding counties, which I think is helpful for location. And then nothing on the back. Inside, I'll leave this with you guys, and this kind of fits into my next announcement. We have an event coming up on May 24th. We actually have 2 events on May 24th. The first one is a free breakfast. We would love for you to come. We just need you to register. So we have a head count for food. We're going to have catering by Cornerstone Cafe out of Monticello. It's from 8:30 until 9:30. We're having the Dean of the School of Public Affairs, Dr. King Banyan, come talk about the economy in Wright County. He's been doing the quarterly update up in St. Cloud for 20 years. So he's a great speaker, very smart man. Love for you guys to come. Our goal is 50. We were gonna limit it at 50, but if I get more than 50, I don't think I'm gonna limit it, just because I want to get as many people there as I can. So I would love for you guys to come. If you can't make it to breakfast that day, then we would love for you to come to the CEO Business Expo. So this is the high school students, juniors and seniors. They go to the the Wright County schools, sorry. These are the students that know they want to start their own business. We're wrapping up our 8th year. They actually start a real business, write a real business plan. They get a mentor. They go throughout the county and get presentations from business owners about how to be successful in Wright County. And they're going to do their own business expo. So they have their own table, their own booth, their own business cards, and they're offering their services. So if you can come that afternoon between 4 and 6, this is an open house. You don't have to register. Just walk through, tell the kids congratulations, we're proud of you. Share the message with Montrose Waverly students about this program. We had over 47 kids sign up for 24 spots for next year.
Well,
Nice.
So it's a huge demand. This is the first time we're showing this kind of demand now.
That's
It's
good.
finally really catching some good time. So I've got those. If you want one, take one. Otherwise, take a picture of it or write it down. I know you got that. The other one is in here. We have our flyer, this is gonna change a lot, so it's the old version. This is about the Wright Tech Center and everything the Wright Tech Center has to offer. I still have the $9.5 million bonding request out there. Politics at the Capitol stink, we'll see what happens.
We know.
CEO program. I have to share a sad bit of news, though. Yesterday, one of the students in the CEO class, we found out that committed suicide, 17 years old. Absolutely devastating. So, I've lost family members to suicide. It's near and dear to my heart. Please reach out to your friends and family. Please get help if you need help. Please remind people that mental illness is just like cancer of the brain or of the body. You get professional help. Here's the air fresheners that we hand out at special events. It says stop spinning your wheels, work in Wright County. There's a QR code on the back. It drives people to the Workforce Pathways Wheel, which is our online digital tool. And the wheel is getting a renovation too. So we list our over 150 Wright County employers. We tell people, level up in Wright County. You don't need to waste your time on the highways. Work in Wright County. 70% of Wright County residents leave Wright County to work.
That's sad.
We need to retain Wright County residents and Wright County jobs. Even if we could do a small percentage, it would help everybody. So getting that message out, great jobs in Wright County. You do not have to burn up your gas and time on 94. This is a partner investor application. The City of Montrose is a partner. Thank you so much for your ongoing partnership. We have annual membership dues based on per capita, but any private business, we're always welcoming you to be a partner of ours to do regional economic development. We do not try to compete with our local chambers. We also have an opportunity for businesses to be a sponsor, an investor, $1,000 a year for the CEO program, or a mentor for these students, or present to the students about your business and how you were successful in running a business in Wright County. So there's an opportunity there. There's an opportunity there. We're going to have our, oh, there's one more. June 14th. This will be the next one, the next capacity building seminar. This is part of the Launch Minnesota. I don't have it on here. Launch Minnesota is the Wright County Economic, I shouldn't say I, Wright County, Department of Employment and Economic Development has the Launch Minnesota program to support entrepreneurs, adult entrepreneurs. So we're going to have someone from USDA Rural Development talk about funds available for startups. We're going to have someone from Minnesota Business Finance Corporation that does SBA loans. We're going to have someone from SCORE. These are technical assistance mentors. And then we're hopefully having someone from Women Venture. This will be a free event. This will be a luncheon. This will be from, I think, 11 to 2 on June 14th. So if you can get to that one, that'll be in here as well. Our 30th anniversary is coming up in August. We're going to have a little party at the Buffalo Rodeo Fairgrounds. We're going to do a band. We're going to do a photo contest. We're going to do some food trucks. So we're working on that right now. That'll be on like a Tuesday night in August. I think it's the 22nd. And then in September is our golf event. Wednesday, September 13th, we're going to do it at Albion Ridge. It's our fundraiser, our one that we do every year. We would love for you to come golf with us. If you don't golf like me, you just want to drive around the golf cart and hand out free beer, you can do that too. And come have lunch. So that's what we got going on. I'm going to leave this folder. It has one of each event, air freshener, and all that stuff. You can choose.
Real quick
You guys got a Rochambeau for it.
How many of those with Wright Tech CUS, how many of those actually get brick and mortars going right away? Like businesses?
I misheard you for a second. I don't know the percentage number. I know that a number of students still keep their businesses going. Like Max Mini is a food truck. It's a mini donut food truck that she's running. I know there's a young gentleman that did yard landscaping, grass cutting, and snow removal, and he, it isn't a brick and mortar. It's a pickup truck
for
with
sure.
a vinyl thing on it. He's still doing it.
Yeah, because I'm just spinning my wheels with, if we did some sort of incubator building that tied into Wright Tech
Absolutely.
CEOs, that we could
Absolutely.
give them the 2 years to get
Give
going.
them a space to kind of get
That's
there.
kind of what I'm
They
thinking,
need it.
you know.
Yeah, that's a great way. That's a great thing to think about.
Kind of help partner with not only just the city, but with the county and support it, I don't know.
Yeah,
We
I
can
mean,
find
this is
something.
9 school districts, 8 or
Yeah.
9 school districts that are sending kids to this program.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that if there was an opportunity for them to say, hey, okay, if you really want to, if you're serious about it after you graduate and you want to do something, here's a easier way to do it,
Mhm.
that would certainly be something to consider. So, yeah. So I'm gonna head out to Polaris and do my little visit out there today. And then I will email this afternoon some things, and then we'll try and get Emory or Millhausen on the books.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate your time.
Anything else you think of in between now and then? Are you doing transitioning still? Are you in Montrose or was that?
Eventually. yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm not pushing you out the door, I'm like, I don't wanna miss you, that's all I'm
We
saying.
don't ask that question.
Okay, I'm a firm believer of being transparent and assertive, not passive aggressive, but I don't want you to slip away and not be able to, you know.
Not back.
Okay, good. You don't wanna lose it yet.
Not yet, no.
Thank you guys, have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Awesome, well, it's a good tie-in to our last piece of business here, is just ideas to attract new business to Montrose. I know I keep hearing it, I know we haven't heard anything in the city, but I feel like if or when this, Quick Trip does happen,
Is it a thing?
it's been a thing that they've been talking about, and I've been hearing it, and nothing has ever come to the city on it, but I just feel like that's gonna be a huge jumpstart to figure out and attract new businesses, and, once they see a Quick Trip, that's usually a good starter, so.
Yeah, and I wish we had more spaces that were available, ready to go,
Yeah,
but it's not really the case.
So we still have, with Quick Trip, I still hear the employee problem.
And yeah, I would assume that would probably be true. I mean, we have trouble keeping the gas station that we have staffed, so I don't know what the solution is for that. I mean,
Yeah, but I don't know. I honestly think Quick Trip does it different.
they pay
It's not-
very
Do they
well.
pay well?
They pay very,
They
very
pay
well.
very, very well.
They-
They take care of their employees
Yeah,
differently than other
like,
places.
What I've heard from there, and I don't wanna talk anything more, but I've heard there was mass exodus for a certain reason
that,
Yeah.
at Casey's.
I have no idea, but I just know local,
somebody has been asking if they're closing, and I said,
No,
not that I know
it
of,
was,
but.
I just know it was internal that happened, and there was a mass exodus because of what had happened there.
Something happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but local Quick Trips that I've seen, it is different. They're
just
full
is.
of employees.
They
It does
are.
not seem
I mean,
like they have.
if you go to Rockford,
Illinois
the
and
Quick Trip
Buffalo.
there versus the Casey's or the Super or
And
Speedway.
they're pulling people from
like,
other
yeah,
towns, and it's not like it's all local. You
Yeah,
know,
No.
Coney, for example, they've got they've got 3 blocks from each other,
Mhm.
you know? It's crazy.
So I do know people who worked at them or who have trained into them, and they get sent different places
Yep.
Yes.
to open them and to run them and work them.
Mhm.
But then I also know that that person was at a Quick Trip, and then it was the same thing as far as you're working long hours, you're getting shoved into the places that you didn't want. You're promised X and you end up with X. So I hear both sides.
Absolutely.
I have heard that too, that they're really well run.
Mhm.
And they have but it's also they're pulling employees from wherever they can pull
Yeah.
them.
Sure.
The one lady was traveling to Wisconsin at times to work
Oh my
because
goodness.
they needed persons there.
Yeah.
So it is a concern of mine because it is a difficult thing to get people to work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I do know that if you go to the Delano one, there's quite a few Montrose residents that
Oh.
are either management or there.
Well, in Buffalo too, I've
Say,
seen,
yeah,
I've
so
seen them in
it's-
Buffalo. against
I would assume maybe that, they have plans for them. I know that there was plans for one of the managers to be moving over to this one and running
Okay.
it. So,
Okay,
again, that's an internal thing for Quick Trip, but I mean, it'd be great to have something that we can rely on, because right now you can't rely on Dollar General, you can't rely on Casey's. Well,
yeah,
Quick Trip covers
both of them.
80% of that, they don't have the
Right.
supplies and stuff that
Yeah.
Dollar General has, but at least there's
They've got some
something.
fresh produce and they've got some meal
Exactly,
options and
yeah.
different food things.
I think
so.
about the amount of money our employees have spent at Casey's.
Absolutely.
To stay open.
Yeah, I mean, I think that,
Pay a cook a little more for God's
Yeah.
sakes, good Lord.
it is what it is there, but I mean, I just think that hopefully will be a good jump start, but I do know that.
Where's
I-
the talk of that going? Or, don't know.
Other side of 12 from Casey's, just down the strip a little bit, so kind of, I think still
It's all-
past Zephyr area, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's been brought to us individually, but not officially from Quick Trip on that. And I mean, I could make a phone call. I don't know if that department that I deal with in Quick Trip actually knows the plans for expansion, but I can at least make a phone
Well,
call.
that's the thing, getting to the right person.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's hard in some of those bigger corporate places.
Yeah, but I am interested in, discussing more and maybe finding out more from these developers that Jolene brought up, because I do have interest from one business, but there's no building for him.
Mhm.
You know, he's looking for 10 to 15,000 square foot industrial building. And if we had that, he's moving his entire business from Golden Valley over here. So, you know, which would be good for us, and probably, I want to say, a good 40 employees he's bringing to town as well. So, but just kind of seeing what's out there. I mean, obviously, I would say there's a good 10-year plan that we gotta look at as far as what's gonna happen here, what's gonna happen with, you know, community center, all that kind of stuff. I personally envision moving that out over on the 12 and creating that kind of downtown that Montrose doesn't have. You know, little area that can all kind of suit that and add some businesses, add some multifamilies and stuff like that. But want to see what your guys' thoughts were, or if there's.
So what are you saying, like the community, the fire department, community center?
So, there, you know, in works down the road of the fire department taking over the full thing, a full building over there.
Okay.
And then, you know, building up an actual community center, not just a cafeteria.
A box.
You know, building in, having, you know, some activities that kids can do and stuff like that.
Okay.
As well as, you know, still being able to host, you know, put a kitchen in there, and you know, one that actually fits for everything that's needed and stuff like that, but, you know, build around it. I think it's something that we lack in, obviously. I know that we have plenty of parks.
Right. And more parks.
We don't need more parks, but we need more activities for these kids to do.
And that could potentially be part of a city hall, like they do in St. Michael, they have kind of a,
Yep.
you know, community center and inside the city hall.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
But
mean,
that would be, yeah, down the.
down the line, pipeline, but, you know, kind of almost have to think about what that looks like now, you know, because we can't wait till the last minute and hope for it to happen, you know.
And you anticipate this being where?
I don't anticipate it anywhere, I envision it
Right,
going over
but-
there across from 12. You know, if you look at that open field where the solar panels are and everything, like
Oh,
creating
okay.
that as a downtown, you know, so across from Craft Battery and CCC and
Okay,
having
down
an
that.
area that we can
Yeah.
actually say is downtown Montrose. But I think being off at 12 and 25 there would attract the right businesses as well.
Especially if you get it off of the highway, you
Yeah.
know, because the highway doesn't create a very conducive place for, our downtown is on highway.
Yeah.
And-
No, I mean, it's more like you would turn in and, you know,
Yeah.
the complex is there and stuff
Got
like that,
it.
you know, but I do think, you know, the multi-use business on the bottom, family
Mm-hmm.
up top, I think I don't see that anywhere near us as any city's doing that, so I think that could be something that kind of sets us apart for the better.
Well, especially getting some different businesses in here,
Exactly.
because there is
And having
nothing.
some spots for businesses to
Yeah.
come in.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
That's just been the tough part moving forward, so. Anybody else, I mean, I know, I wanna wait till the county's done with their reproduction of their pamphlet and everything, and so we can emulate that and kind of make sure it's in line with what they're doing and streamline it in, but, I do think it might be a good idea down the road to have kind of a folder like that too for prospective, you know,
Like a
businesses.
development type.
Yeah.
folder.
You know, just kind of that way, it's a one-all packet for them. And makes us look a little bit more,
Yeah.
more buttoned up,
Mhm.
you know, than the rest. I mean, that's kind of what we're working with the county, but we're also fighting with every other city in the county,
Yeah.
you know.
Key is just to make sure you got something to put in that folder too.
Exactly, and those are the kind of things that, you know, as business owners, you know, what are you looking for? You know, what are the things you want to see that the town is doing that would attract you? You know, kind of use that expertise into how we're putting this all together. I think this is kind of key.
So I think part of it is keeping the small town vibe, making it safe.
Mhm.
You know, that's a big thing. Also, some of the conveniences without bringing, not making it over city. Do you know what I mean?
100%, absolutely understand that, yeah.
Because you don't want, the sprawl. So like over the weekend, I went down to the Wabasha. So we went through the cities, took 52 going down. You go outside of the city on 52 and all of a sudden you're in the country. And then you get to Wabasha and it is the cutest, quaintest, feel safe little city that I've been in a long time.
Mhm.
Yeah, my sister lives out by Woodbury out there, and yeah, it's like I'm driving to her house and all of a sudden it's like farmland. And then you get to her development and there's like some commercial stuff, there's a grocery store and a coffee shop and a couple restaurants or something, and then like a couple developments and a school and.
But it's not, I mean, here, it's just with this highway going right through, it doesn't ever get to be, it's always it's always a tense, you know, when you come into town. And I live here and I
Yeah.
love it here because I can go off in my own little
Yeah.
space, but we don't have that attractiveness here.
100%. No, that's kind of the, you know, as we're growing, we gotta kind of figure out what we officially look like. And yeah, there's a point of staying true to who you are and maybe growing that a little, you know, the way that we want to grow it, you know, where it still feels like that quaint area, but then also there's amenities that are available to people who
Right.
live here. So we're not driving 15, 20 minutes to get anything, you know? And that's also kind of, keep it local, you know?
So through the years, I've been approached about the area in front of, you know, Craft Pattern and Mold. I've been approached about the part by Excel. Are those still available for?
Yeah, they're for sale by a private
Mhm.
party. So,
Okay.
and that information is on our website in the economic development section.
Okay.
There's just like links to the contact information for those. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that they are still available.
Mhm. And this has been 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
But all of them have approached me in that time, but, you know, different time, different place, different.
Yeah, once in a while I'll get called about those industrial type areas and then that's it. You know, you get a call about it, questions, and that's it.
Mhm. Yeah. I
I
think.
guess I don't know how much they're selling the land for, so it might be spendy.
I know that
Yeah.
check out there is a lot.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
He's been
Yeah, I thought so.
very hard to talk with, get a hold of, just, even for us to just put a sign out there.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
not we're hiring
Yeah.
sign, you know, or anything there. You know, our dream for the longest time was to put a little bit of somehow try to put up some housing there and a daycare, and,
No,
Yeah,
but it's been tough to get a hold of that guy.
no, for sure.
That's kind of frustrating too, because if there are potential people
It
trying to
just seems like he
trying to get a hold of
doesn't
them,
want to
it's like,
Yeah, I mean,
And the
it's
price,
doing business, if you don't get back, like
Yeah.
I've written you off.
yeah.
you know.
You know, how much do you really want to sell the land for, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
one of those things, and kind of, as a city, we gotta figure out how it is that we're gonna grow, because with the projects upcoming with wastewater and all that, like, there is potential for more. But
Right.
More the right way is what I want, I think it's what
Right.
you want, you know, I think.
And it would be helpful to help pay for those projects, having more commercial.
And that's the big thing, you know?
Right. But so how can we help people get those properties if they're so expensive? Do you know what I mean? I'm just throwing out ideas
Yeah.
because they want to sell them eventually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's the tough part, it's like, I'm sure you'd have people interested if there was an actual building there.
Yeah.
You know, but now you're asking for, buy the land and now you gotta pay for the building, like, that's where people are, they don't wanna deal with that. You know, so we gotta find, you know, the Larson Building, the Bradbury Stams of the world, to look into those projects, because that's what they're looking to do, so that's, you know, to help bring the businesses in and stuff like that.
So I heard that there was a way to, if you wanted to invest in housing without buying a house, there's investment groups that you can, you know, put your money into that build apartment buildings, that build that kind of thing. You know, like you're going into the stock market and you want to put investment money in there, but you don't actually want to go and own it yourself. wonder if there's ways to contact, and, you know, I have no idea, I'm just saying, I read about that, because I'm looking at doing some investing, and I get things on my news feed, but I have read about that somewhere. So I don't know if anybody has more ideas where to look for that kind of information, but what if? What if we find somebody who wants to invest in building a building and rent it out? Because we got definitely a need,
Yeah.
but it needs an investment group, somebody who's willing,
I wonder
or,
if Jolene might have some
Yeah.
contact for that, maybe?
right.
I'll ask her.
But you kind of get what I'm looking
Yeah.
at,
Mhm.
a group that invests in building a building, because if
So
we.
that they're profiting from the rent or whatever they're taking in from it,
Right.
and then, but then we get buildings, and we get commercial property, or we get,
Or we get the
Housing, or we get-
housing,
yeah.
or, I mean, are we gonna, what if we can't do these small businesses to do this kind of stuff? What if we need some bigger investors to invest in our community, you know? I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there.
no, that's a good idea. I'll see if Jolene has any insight on that, or if she's done some more research on that, or if I can find some more research on that. Because I've heard of that too. Where groups, yeah, they like partner up basically and sort of, you know, leverage their money to invest in these types of things.
Mhm. Then I go on a wild hair, what if we create something like that? But I don't know that, that's a lot. But I'm just, you know, throwing that out there of a investment group that invests in our own community. Don't know, just
Yeah.
putting out a wild hair.
No.
Any ideas?
Anything is good. Yeah, you know. Cause yeah, with those projects upcoming, I mean, it'd be nice to have some extra help, but also bring in the right things that also helps the community. You know, I know that.
Oh, and whether that's helping the community by providing jobs, or providing a service, or providing products, or,
Yeah, you know.
You get housing, all of a sudden you've got people to work.
Yeah.
exactly.
Who doesn't want to work close if
Yeah.
they can?
Yeah.
We also have 70% of the residents leaving this county too.
Yeah,
So there's
that's
people
crazy.
here.
Yeah.
Getting-
Right.
Getting them to work and the right jobs and some of that too.
You know, you guys are kind of the model for it, as far as how big you guys are, as far as how many people you attract locally, you know, to work there, and you've done something that others have obviously had trouble doing, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you guys still struggle.
we still struggle.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Don't
you
we
know,
all?
Yeah.
so,
We struggle hiring people, so.
Yeah, I'm just kind of, is there, you know, something that we can partner with on like a kind of a workforce within the county that we can, if there's an advertising or whatever thing that we can get with them to attract these people that are looking for jobs and positions, that instead of them going on, you know, Indeed or stuff like that, it's right there available on the county website,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, I think Jolene's doing a really good job of trying to promote working
Yeah.
here. Besides that, it's also going to the schools and saying that we have jobs here. You don't have to go on to college. You
Mhm.
can get a decent job just working right here in your community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you could also do well working right here in your community. Instead of looking and going off and spending thousands of dollars on thousands on an education, that, why don't you just stay local?
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, and I'm curious what, you know, when she goes to the businesses, so their team came to our business and then nothing happened after it. There was
Okay.
zero contact afterwards, so I don't know if it'll be different now, this was a couple of years ago, but there was no follow-up. I think you were there.
I was, and I was under the impression that was more of like a tour of the business, so
No,
I
that was-
guess I
that
didn't
was
know
their-
if there was any
That was
follow-up that was
for,
supposed to happen.
what do they call it now, the business,
Business extension and expansion
Yeah.
visits or whatever
Yep.
she's calling them now,
yeah,
so.
and the key for us at that time and still today was, you know, how can we hire more? Where can we pull
Right.
people from?
just recruitment
what are
in
we
general.
missing,
Yeah.
right? You know, what other, what other avenues are there for us to pull or attract associates, right? And
Yeah.
nothing came from that. So hopefully I'm just a one-off, but
Yeah.
we got zero.
I mean, is it out of our scope of who we are to work with these businesses that are in town on creating a job fair and that kind of thing, that we could host, for those that are in need? I mean, that way
I think it'd
it's,
be good to maybe partner with Jolene if we want to do something like that.
Absolutely.
Just for advertisement and,
Yeah. But I think if we can maybe try to host an annual or biannual job fair that's
Or like-
Montrose driven.
Mhm.
Maybe something even expo related,
Mhm.
Well, even
so
something like
expo.
this, like this business expo thing, like having a booth fair and,
Yeah.
Right.
opportunities in Montrose.
Absolutely.
So expo/job fair. 'Cause
Yeah.
then you get all the businesses showing who there is in town, trying to get people to come out and, like learn
Yeah,
who's actually here, because there's some business nobody knows about.
for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't even know where we are or
Yeah.
who we are.
Oh, I'm all the time, and I'm like
Yeah.
CCC, and they're like,
What?
Yeah, it's crazy, but they have no idea anything about us. And we advertise everywhere.
Yeah.
no, I
All over
know.
everything.
It's called the North Star of Wright County.
We've got white trucks everywhere, semis, crane, you name it.
Yeah.
but-
You have lights?
Yeah. we-
We keep excelling business.
Sorry, I couldn't.
No, we have to.
It's very true, it's very true.
No, but I think that, not only it attract for the residents here in town, but I think we bring it out broader to Wright County in general. Because if we can at least, we can steal some from Monticello.
Or if she's having something like this,
She could
have our
help-
business
she could help
partners
get it
go.
set up
Yeah.
and get it running too.
Exactly,
exactly.
but I think that's, that's only gonna help us prosper because our businesses are successful and they're not struggling to find workers and this and that. Like,
Mhm.
let's be proactive as an EDA group to help you guys out, and that kind of stuff. I think that's huge, and I think we can get, I know the bank's always wanted to help out more and more with the town. I think we can work with them to help be a part of that as well.
Yeah.
Maybe even Lincoln Chamber,
Yeah, like
the chamber,
That's what I was thinking, like Joel.
it just
and,
kind of puts everything together,
Yeah,
and shows the cohesiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we all put a
Maybe the
few
chamber could
people
help do an expo and we could partner.
Yeah.
with workforce, or
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
people to have like a job fair, but I'd need everybody's help, like pulling together. I've helped organize
Yeah.
expos before, it's not,
Not easy, I'm sure.
No.
Yeah.
it's not easy, but it's not hard. You
Yeah.
just have to pick a
It's
date
a lot
and we
of-
have to start advertising and pushing out. And I need to talk to the chamber members and see if the few members that we have are willing to put some extra effort into it.
I think, in order to do things right, you need help from every organization, We can't be successful as just an EDA group,
Mhm.
So the more that we reach out, like I'm enjoying the fact that Jolene's taking the time to come out here because it's
Mhm.
beneficial to help us actually
Right.
move forward, rather than just get stuck in the mud on things. So, yeah, I think that's perfect for me.
Try to put it on the chamber agenda
Okay.
for next week and see if they have interest in doing it, and maybe we can look at doing something. It's May, I'm not gonna say summer, but by September maybe, if that's what you think. I think we need a couple months to pull it all together. I don't like to pull things together too fast, because first you gotta get it out to the businesses and have them sign up and then organize it and make sure we have a place, if we could have it at like the community center or something, and then go from there. And then it's setting up tables, and it's not horribly hard, it's just doing it,
Absolutely. Awesome.
Good idea.
Anybody else have anything to add? All right, next meeting will be Tuesday, June 20th at 12 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'm a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Quick hour. I didn't realize it was- That's pretty